Back before Grounded 2's early access release, we got a sneak peek of eggs hatching, and this would obviously be how we would tame creatures, but there was something else deep behind it. I don't really feel I need to say spoilers for this bit because it's pretty obvious that the Broodmother could, should, maybe be coming back. There's some big contradictions there, but I'm pretty sure 99% it will be making a return. However, how it makes a return is definitely a big spoiler, so I'll leave that to a little bit later. But let's examine what we actually found. In the background, there is the Broodmother's chair. You can just about see the top of it as it spins round. So this did get us all hyped and excited for the idea that, yes, I would quite like to fight some old bosses, maybe with some revamps or new ways about them, and of course with all our new gear ourselves. Here is the moment pause that you can see it. So okay, maybe they've made a mistake. They've accidentally included this in, whoever's making these shorts and videos and stuff, and actually it won't be in. They just got mistaken. But then Obsidian went and released this next short that weren't supposed to actually have gone live. They ended up taking it down after about an hour, and then someone managed to capture it. And once again, we see another Broodmother decoration piece. At first when I saw it from this angle, I thought, well, maybe it's actually just an orb weaver now. This angle is much better, and when you compare it directly, it's got exactly the same red fangs at the top of it, exactly the same amount of candles. This is the Broodmother's chandelier. And then the final evidence, Your Honour, is actually just these tiny little stickers that were on the Grounded 2 page just before its release. You can clearly see the Broodmother. Now that's a choice, because all the other stickers are relatively new, I do believe. I'm still praying Obsidian gives us the chance to have these so we can actually plaster them around our bases. But the Broodmother one is definitely a choice to put here. Like, why are you putting it on the splash page for Grounded 2 if it's not going to appear eventually? Now, of course, everyone points to something that I reported on and a bunch of others as well, that during lots of interviews, the devs did say that there wouldn't be any returning bosses. I posed this question to you guys about which ones you'd like to see return, and a bunch of you gave some really solid answers, and the Broodmother was definitely up there. But of course, does that mean the devs are lying? Yeah, I mean, they've done it before. Maybe not intentionally. Obviously, they thought that there would never be a PlayStation version of Grounded, but it happened. They were pretty stum around the actual wasps coming into the game. But the biggest theory is right now that they meant it. We wouldn't actually see the Broodmother return as a full-blown boss fight. Instead, it's going to be something different. I did have a theory, and of course some of you guys probably had it as well, that we would see maybe the Broodmother come dangling down and Axel might actually go ahead and kill her. Technically giving us a way to get some Broodmother pieces to make some of the furniture without actually having a fight. Of course that never happened, but I really wish it had. The last thing to talk about with this is the Broodmother actually does exist in one of the dev worlds. It looks relatively the same, although it does seem a bit smaller than it used to. The throne is here, also one of the candle holders, but not obviously the chandelier. Now this was available in one of the early versions of the builds for Grounded 2 that we managed to data mine, get access to, so big shout out to the data miner squad. But it was very weird to be here. Like, they could be testing just for the lighting, that's what I've always assumed, to see how Unreal Engine 5 looks on some assets. Also pay attention to the rug that's on the floor as well. I mean, it could be Black Widow, it could be the Broodmother, who knows. I don't think it really has lots of white stripes on its leg normally. So yes, even more evidence that the Broodmother is baked into the game. We know that because they ported everything from Grounded 1, but why are they using it and why are they putting it all together like this? Okay, so that's what we've seen publicly. That's why I'm pretty confident in talking about the Broodmother publicly. The next bit, you may want to turn away now if you don't really want spoilers about the story, potentially, especially with the Stranger. Plus some of the other potential colossi or other bosses coming to Grounded 2. Don't forget to leave a like, and yeah, you have been warned. Okay, so I've done a few videos talking about the snake. I'm not going to really try and rinse it too much, but we know there's a snake in development. It's very unfinished, but it has recently just undergone a small change in the files, adding a eating attack to it, or eating animation. It does actually have this already, or it has a rear up effect where it will try and attack you, but it doesn't actually do any damage. The big speculation is that this could be roaming around the gardens, seeking us out. We'll have to wait and see if that's the case. But it's so big, it is a colossi, I don't think we're going to be able to do any damage to it. At best, maybe stun it and try and take some scales off its back or something along them lines. If it ever does come in to Grounded 2, devs might have just decided, nah, it's not for us. And again, I've shown some of this stuff off before, so you can go and check out the full videos if you want to see more details. But in the same dev world that we saw the snake, there was a special built arena, and it had a few different options that you could use to spawn in. So we have the lizard. This is the second bet that most people assume might be a new boss, but maybe not a colossus. Given it's already got a health bar, as far as we can tell, we've actually managed to damage it and do stuff to it. Some of these animations are brand new. They have been tweaked and changed since Grounded 1. And if you don't know, the lizard was reportedly meant to come in Grounded 1, but ended up getting cut. We found out about it. There was whole armor and a new spear coming with this. It was meant to be underneath the sandbox, but devs decided it just wasn't a fun enough fight. And actually got cut really early into the game, but we actually found it eventually just before full release when someone accidentally leaked the dev build. And I'm so sorry to old Grounded fans who know all this, who watch lots more videos, but you know, I've got to show the new people that what the history of Grounded has been. So it was cut content, but it was something the fan base really wanted to see, like they really wanted it to come in. You can see though from this early dev version, it definitely still needs some work with it literally just forcing away magic projectiles, although arrows do seem to work. So what has this and the snake got to do with potentially the Broodmother returning? Well, I think we're pretty stacked is the point. If the snake ends up being the colossi, the lizard could potentially still be a boss in the future. And so, drum roll, it does look like we will see the Broodmother return, but instead it's going to be a mount for V, aka Violet the Mysterious Stranger. So for sure, this version looks a lot bigger than the one that we saw in that other dev world with all the rest of the Broodmother decor. And during this footage that I recorded a while ago, you can see it's taking on a lizard, so it's not going to be friendly to anyone else. Now it does have a health pool. So this is where things get a bit confusing and why I can't definitively 100% say it won't or will be returning to the game, because the devs did say that no returning bosses will come. So it means that either we're not actually going to kill this Broodmother, maybe we knock V off during the boss fight, and then the Broodmother manages to scuttle away. But then how does that work with all the furniture and the gear? I can't really imagine Mysterious Stranger killing her own mount even if she's frustrated and angry, but that could be a thing. Gets beat by us and then just delivers a final blow even if we were going to let the Broodmother live. But then how are you going to repeat the fight to go ahead and get more of the pieces? And then one of my crazy theories when I've spoken about this a little bit before was, imagine if we had the Broodmother as our mount. If the Mysterious Stranger can ride it, why can't we? This is why I really had that feeling that maybe the Broodmother would come in being ridden by Violet and then Axel would actually just appear and pretty much take her down. And that's how we was going to get Broodmother pieces without us actually fighting the Broodmother again. The other big theory is it could be just a roaming creature. It's not technically a boss anymore. We'll see the Mysterious Stranger riding it, but it maybe still will get taken out by another creature. And we'll find a few of these roaming around maybe the gardens area or other areas in the future. But the fact that even more leaks have come out now with that recent short showing more Broodmother stuff does make me think it is going to be in the garden update. So lots and lots to ponder there. As said, none of this might actually make sense. They really might have had someone who's just an intern making videos and hasn't actually even played Grounded and just thought, hey, you know what, these decoration pieces look nice. True story, that could happen, but after the first time that we all made a big commotion about the Broodmother returning, would the devs really be that stupid to do the same thing again? And if so, why is there so much focus on the Broodmother in the game dev worlds? And this surely seems too cool to go ahead and not include as part of the game with the Mysterious Stranger riding it. This, the lizard and the snake are the only three new sort of bosses or big creatures we can see in the hidden game files. So yeah, it's got to be something along them lines. The Mysterious Stranger has got an affinity with spiders, of course. She had obviously her bandit spider come and take us on, the wolf spider. It's up in the air still a little bit about what her armour's actually made out of. We're assuming mixes of things like scorpion parts and more. But it makes sense that if we already bested a wolf spider controlled by her or set upon us by her, then she's going to have to keep ramping it up and have new creatures and new steeds. Now, apologies for this gameplay. At the time, I just didn't get enough shots of the Broodmother and the Mysterious Stranger on their own. And can't lie, it's a bit of a faffle for me to go and boot up older versions of Grounded, take a look at this dev world, which is how I get a lot of this stuff. Big shout out to Jace, the grey one as well. He spawned in and maybe a better look at the mysterious stranger riding the Broodmother on a frisbee, which is actually on top of the arbour that we can see, which is just outside the playable space at the moment on the other side of Burgle. And we're assuming that might actually be part of the garden update. It's effectively a walkway with a ton of roots and spider webs, especially that you'll need the All Weaver to help get across, eventually get up here. So I think this could actually be a boss arena that we take it on. Jace did just spawn it here, but it was a really good shout. Especially given that the original Broodmother that we fought, when it was literally just a wolf spider, was on top of the frisbee in the hedge in Grounded 1. Last thing to maybe mention with this particularly is that the armor sets for the Broodmother are in the game, but they are actually part of the Grounded 1 old armor sets. There is a special section, again in the same dev world that we saw the Broodmother creatures and the stuffed version. I didn't really get a very good look at it here, but it is part of this set, which has been sectioned off from all the other armor sets that could be coming to Grounded in future, or we've already seen. And that, by the way, that's the lizard armor that's on the floor there. So yeah, I still think we're going to face the Broodmother. I don't think it's going to be something that we'll necessarily get a new arm sets from, but maybe some decor pieces. And it's definitely going to tie in to the mysterious stranger and some sort of battle. I think they'll keep that. So exciting times as ever. If we get any more leaks or any more data that I can find in the files or get help from everyone else, of course I'll let you guys know. But I figure it was worth talking about today. Do you want to see the Broodmother return? What unique way could it? Have the devs just been lying to us to make it a great impact? And yep, I've probably spoiled it a bit here. But with the update still a good month away and potentially or even longer, I figure it's about time I give you a little bit more hype and something exciting to look forward to. So until next time, Ratbags, I'll catch you for more gameplay, news, leaks and more. Laters.